This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Woo! You now rocking with One Nation Radio. Welcome to the program. James Boy, Richard Latta, and a couple friends with the show for your wrestling needs. Shopping out the rest of the IWC. We gon' tell her how it is. We gon' shoot from the hip. If they putting out trash, we gon' rip from the bits. Make sure that you tweet us and you rate the shows. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Now let's get it on the road. Hey. One Nation Sports. One Nation Sports. One Nation Sports.
Welcome to One Nation Radio. And now, here are your hosts, Rich Latta and James Boyd. And thank you for listening.
SocialSuplex.com. BWB, what's up?
What's good? It's Wale, and this is One Nation Radio. You already know.
Sad weekend. It was looking promising, but it already went up in smoke. But it's okay. At least we got some wrestling to talk about today. And football, professional football is on the way. I know Rich, he's done with that. He's off that narcotic, but
yep.
I'm good to inject it into my veins, and everything will feel right because we're coming upon NFL football season as well.
So. Today we got a couple things to talk about. Obviously, we got the Mae Young Classic. There's Braun Strowman. The Big Show was announced for the cage, or the Steel's Cage, brother, as they say. Nakamura and Randy Orton will have a Who Will Mail It In First challenge Tuesday night. I want to talk about Cena and Roman Reigns a little bit more. And then also, James, I saw you post something in Shoot Saturday, which I thought was really interesting. I was talking with Jeremy about it last night. But I guess we can start at the beginning with the Mae Young Classic in the first round of that. If you guys are not following along with our Mae Young Classic thread in the group, please do so. We're all, contributing, live thoughts and comments and crap like that. I went ahead and did ratings for the whole first round. James, what were your overall thoughts on the first round of the Mae Young Classic?
I thought the first episode was a great showcase to Trojan horse to get you in and watch the rest of the show. I thought that the main events of each show were all well done. I thought, for the most part, I think that episodes 2 and 3 are kind of up and down, but at least they were half and half. They weren't just all bad matches. You always had a dependable main event. You always had something else on the card that would keep you compelled. So far, the first round has been a little bit below my expectations after some of the buzz that was heard, but the good thing is a lot of the better wrestlers advanced. So you would think that we would be getting better matches coming soon.
Right. So there were some puzzling couple folks that lost in the first round. More specifically, Tessa Blanchard, who drew Kairi Sane, where she had no chance of winning.
And it was funny because I just watched that match. I just finally caught up, and right in the middle of the match, you have Ross and Lita both saying, everyone was it's a shocker that one of these two is going to be eliminated. It makes you think, wow, then maybe you shouldn't have booked it like this, right? Tessa, some of the girls that have advanced, there were maybe 2 or 3 that did advance, and you're just they're not better than Tessa Blanchard.
Right.
They're just not. But, you can say the same for Santana Garrett, of course, too. But it was but so far so good, and I'm still excited to see what else is left to come.
Right. So I guess we can just take it one episode at a time. I have my match ratings, which I'll be revealing along the way. We had Kaylee Ray against Francesca Shuhei. I believe that's how you
Suhei.
Suhei, sorry. And I thought they put on a really good opener to get everyone excited, and Suhei was pretty, she just did Like she doesn't wrestle like the rest of the rest of them. It was dope. Like, so what'd you think of their match?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a really good opener. I thought that they did a really good job of getting over the fact that Sue hates the babyface and that Kaylee, I don't know what necessarily, if she's actually a heel in fact, but they halfway through the match, you knew that you're supposed to cheer for one person and not the other. And I thought that they came through well.
Next match, I ended up giving that one 3 stars. Serena Deeb took on Vanessa Bourne. That one looks like Deeb has kind of got the Brian Kendrick type redemption story going on, and I'm just like, yeah whatever. We got a comment from Simon. He says, watching the Mae Young episodes or Mae Young Classic episodes today, I heard it wasn't on the level of the CWC though. I did hear it was originally, and it was hard for me to believe. After the first round, I would say no, but I would say allow it to play out a little bit more because we still have round 2 and round 3, which, the ridiculous stuff is happening, and Twitter wouldn't explode the way it did if it wasn't something to look forward to in these next rounds. Yeah.
I will say that the crowd throughout was really helped these matches along the way as well. They get along around some of the awkwardness at certain points in some of the matches. Like, this isn't all the matches, but there were a few that, were able to get through and finish off on a high point at the end of getting through, like, middle points and beginning points of matches because of the crowd was into most of these matches. I think there's really only one match the crowd wasn't really into. I would say the Gonzalez Savoy match, the crowd just was not into because they didn't know. I don't think they knew what to do. I don't think they knew which way to go. You have this girl that comes out like she's a shoot fighter, all the tattoos, and then you have another girl that comes out and wearing like the blandest of bland outfits, except she's wearing chaps. Yeah. And she's wrestling with like an eye patch on that actually has a whole eye patch. So like, what's the point of the eye patch? So,
well, when I saw her, I was like, man, she got to be from Texas, and then like she was. Simon, that was Piper Nevin who was getting insulted because of her weight, and we're going to get to that in a minute. Let me see. I gave Deeb and Bourne a 2.5, and I believe Deeb went over.
Yeah, she did. I thought that she did a good job working from underneath in the match, and I loved her spear. Her spear is so much better than Charlotte's. It's actually, it's funny. Everybody that did a spear in this tournament had a better spear than Charlotte. Kyrie had a better spear. Serena had a better spear. Bianca Belair had a better spear, and it wasn't even close. It's not just like it's not like I put my arm out and I basically clothesline your waist. A diving clothesline of your waist, it's actual spear.
So you mean
they have? So
you mean they have a better spear than Edge, also in that case, right?
Yes.
The next match it was Shayna Baszler and Zeta, who they promoted it kind of. This would be like a shoot contest because Zeta had a background as well, but obviously she wasn't Shayna Baszler. This was probably like one of the most gift moments that I saw in the tournament. Where yes, we're actually about to talk about that right now, Michael. He was like, "Yo, can we talk about Shayna's finisher? That was dope. I thought she botched the move, but it came out dope." So when she did it, I was like, "Hold on, what the hell is this?" And then the way she brought her down, like that's a super finisher for for anybody. Yeah. Like that's so creative.
Yeah, that was something that was more or less like seemed like she had that saved for a special occasion. She pulled it out, and it's a good thing she did because in that match, I thought she sort of, maybe it's a thing where if you are the real life shoot fighter, like you kind of feel like almost like you don't know your own strength type thing, so you throw like lazy kicks. I thought a lot of her strikes were sort of lazy in the match, but it was sort of weird because I've seen her wrestle before, and she wasn't lazy when I saw her fight Joey Ryan, right?
Right.
But you can tell that like she's in the right places, and she didn't really mess anything up. It just sort of seemed like she was kind of like not going through the motions. How do you say it? Like wrestling underwater, like wrestling at half speed. But I'm sure that'll pick up as the tournament goes along. But that was a great finish.
And they kept that match really short, so I couldn't really go too high on it. So I went 2 3/4 because I was really entertained by it. Even though like I rated 2 matches higher, but this was probably my favorite match of the first show. I like how they basically showed it like
they put her in certain situations where like they were trying to Zeta was trying takedowns on her, and she was just dismissively like getting out of them, like let her know like proficiency. But Zeta, one thing about Zeta, they had Zeta out here dressed almost like Psylocke from X-Men.
See, I don't know who that is, but it sounds funny.
Google it.
How you
spell that? And then also know that like that Psylocke is also an Asian superhero. You'd be like, oh, okay,
boy,
I see.
Like that's not even the most egregious like one in the first round, but okay, Psylocke. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, different colors, but yeah. The color was to throw you off the scent, but I peep game. Like I see what the tempo looks like. Right. And then we get to the main event. The first day was Abby Laith against Jazzy Gabbert, who ended up a star in this, and I ended up giving this match 3 1/4, just because it was so like well laid out and just so much like basically Kimberly like led her through the match and was like, okay, you're losing, but I'm gonna make you in this match, and I feel like it was mission accomplished. Yeah, I thought that was the best match as far as getting both people over. It made Gabbert a monster, and then it also with Laith. I know she's Kimberly, but I call her Laith. I thought that was to show her that she can she work from underneath and overcome, and also show that she's smart. She can like get herself out of bad situations if she's put in them. Yeah. So I thought it was smart. I mean, it seemed to me like the crowd was mad about Gabbert losing. But, they did the whole, the right, I lost, and I know I'm more over than her right now, so I'm going to, raise the hand or whatever, and then put her over, that sort of thing. Give her the rub. So I thought that was well done at the end too. Yeah. So yeah, that was the first episode. On to the second episode, it was Mercedes Martinez against Xia Li. I found this we will talk about JBL. Good point, Dion. We are going to celebrate live on air. I'm going to play some funk that will get us in the mood for this celebration. So stay tuned. I forgot about that. Thank you, Dion. So Mercedes Martinez and Xia Li. Now this has to be the largest experience gap between two competitors in the tournament, I would say. Yeah. Mercedes Martinez sounds like she's been doing it since Diddy was wearing shiny suits, and then Xia Li, it said this was her first ever match, like ever, and then she came out with the with the fan and all the other Asian stuff. Yeah. And she had like the dress on too, except it was short. It was fit for her to actually wrestle, and I was like, and like the first thing I was like, if she comes out here and her music has a bunch of Kodo licks or whatever, I was like, plucks. I was like, this is gonna be some real bullshit. And sure enough, came out with all the Kodo plucks. Like, boy, they don't know, they can't help themselves. They just can't. Got a couple comments from the live listeners. Michael says Martinez reminds him of Chris Cyborg, and then Dion as Mercedes looked like she's fresh out of Orange is the New Black. I mean, yeah. I mean, what I she looked like she'd been in a fight before. That's what I'll say. Yeah. What I would say to that is, she got some badass kids. Yeah. She got some badass kids. She got some kids that stay in trouble. And look, the neighborhood officers know her kids' names. I'll put it like that. We're gonna have to watch out for them. For Xia Li's first match ever in life, I think she kind of equated herself well. Her strikes, all the kicks. Yeah, all the kicks. A little bit of Hideo Itami feel kind of, but her kicks, they snapped off right. They showed the video package before the match of her training. Dion says LMFAO, badass kids, 3 different daddies. Damn. He took it from one place to just fun, and took it to Oh man, to pathology. Jeez. Yep. So that experience advantage looks like it was a good showcase for Mercedes, and she moved on. I gave that one a 2.5, and then on to Marty Bell versus Rachel Evers. This match was a disaster. Heavily edited, I heard, and I also heard Marty Bell was supposed to win during it, and then she was so bad in the match that WWE was like, you know what, we're going to swap the finish, and I think it's kind of for the best, because, Evers is, kind of decent, and it seems like she was, the crowd liked her a lot. What did you make of this match, James?
It was funny because when we talked about the some of the participants that we actually have seen before at Shine that were in the tournament, we brought up Marty Bell, but we didn't think that like she should have been signed or already been signed, or we didn't necessarily like sing her praises.
Uh-huh.
Like I thought she was pretty. Like when I seen her before, I thought she was sort of mediocre. And then you see this match, you're like, yeah, she ain't approved. Like, and you know that's. I don't know her age or thing or rate of improvement, but like it's sort of like what I saw was a little bit worse than what I've seen before on how at Shine. So I wasn't shocked that it was such a lackluster performance. But Rachel Evans, she seems to know what she's doing. They had her as a babyface in the match.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they were able to switch the finish and they can get her some more experience on the tournament. Who's she fighting next?
I'm not sure. I'll look that up. It's hard to find a bracket that's like incomplete, so I don't want to spoil the rest for myself. Like I've seen a couple things, but I don't know how it all plays out. So
Gotcha.
I gave that match 1.5. It wasn't a gender match, but anyway, the next match it was Rhea Ripley and what was her in Salinas? What was her first name? I'm not sure.
Was it Michelle? Was it Marina or was it Marina or Michelle Salinas or?
I'm not sure. If you guys know in the comments, please let us know. I gave that match a 2.5, and it seems like it was just kind of there. Rhea Ripley, it was like a star.
Yep.
It was Miranda Salinas, I believe.
Yeah, okay, Miranda Salinas.
And she just like looked outmatched. She was so much smaller, and Ripley's just like they call her Baby Madison Eagles, as Sierra said, for a reason. I'll be interested to see what she does the next round. It's gonna be Dakota Kai and Rhea Ripley. I know that. That's gonna be really good. Any thoughts on that match, James?
I was kind of thrown off with the Rhea Ripley thing for like, how do I say this? There are so many tall blondes in this match that are in this tournament that for some reason I thought they were going to have sort of like a lot of differentiating gimmicks. Like I thought like Lacey Evans, for example, she has a USA like sailor outfit thing or whatever. Like that's a clear character point or whatever. Rhea Ripley came out and she looked like virtually every other indie wrestler that I've ever seen, right? I thought she was going to have a little something different, but I mean, I guess when you're athletically gifted as her, it doesn't really matter. She'll get over somehow, some way. Like I think she equated herself really well. So I'm interested to see what happens next.
I gave that one a 2.5. Then Mae Young and Sarah Logan. I'm just gonna say this: Sarah Logan is country.
Yeah,
bro, she has somebody named an Uncle Tater in her life.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Dion Murphy says she reminds me of Charlotte. Talking about Rhea Ripley. I mean, yeah,
tall blondes. Yeah,
yep.
But the thing that got me, really, when I was thinking about it, is if you ask me, the first time I saw Charlotte, if you ask me who she reminds me more of between Lacey Evans or Rhea Ripley, I would say Lacey Evans because the extension game on Lacey Evans is off the charts. But anyway, getting back to Logan, yeah, she.
Dion says she's dating Cousins Country. I'm not touching that one. Oh man. I got jokes, but they're not appropriate for here now. What I will say is, I thought she was one of the smoother workers, and also Mia. I thought those were two of the smoother workers in the entire tournament. Like, if you would say the best technically wrestled match, I would probably say those two. Looking at the there was nothing messed up. It was smooth. There was no awkwardness. Everything flowed well. The match actually got over. Like the crowd was into it. I just I worry with I just have worries for Mae Young as far as her future with the company, knowing how WWE gets down as far as being more concerned about aesthetics than actually substance. Mm-hmm.
Brooke Logan, like it was crazy. Like they had her as if she was like old girl from Glow, like the wolf lady from Glow. Except, like, they said she was built from Louisville, Kentucky. They was like, is that a rib on Cornette?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was just, yeah. If you look at the experience levels, like there are two of the more experienced, and they actually got to wrestle each other. So that was kind of interesting how they did that. To me, it was kind of just there. I don't know if I was like tuned out from the rest of the show, but I gave that one a 2.5 as well. It was just like, whatever. Episode 3, that was Aisha Raymond versus Toni Storm in the first round, and it was suddenly clear who the babyface and the heel were in this match. Oh, looks like I lost James' audio. Did you hit the mute?
Sorry, I had it on mute for a second. I was
Okay.
going to Google search something and put on mute. Sorry. The thing that got me about this match was, like, so does Aisha have two gimmicks going on at the same time?
What you mean?
Like, she came out in, like, the gladiator stuff, and then she also had, like, but then she has, like, cat makeup on her face. Like, she's a little girl dressed up for Halloween. So I was like, which one? Which like, pick one.
What sets
pick
you
one.
claim? What sets you claim? Comment from Dion, he loves Toni Storm, and Toni Storm seemed very popular, and she looks like one of the people they're featuring hard, like on their posters and stuff like that. So I feel like she'll be signed.
Toni Storm is one of those where if she, I would like to see what happens in her next match, but like if she acquaints herself well, there's no reason that she is not like up on NXT, like fighting for the women's title, like almost immediately. Like she's over. 2, she fits exactly what WWE wants. 2, look, I can't say that. But yeah, she's athletic. All her moves work. Like she is exactly what like somebody that WWE will want. Be like, she has cred. She has indie cred, or whatever you want to call it. She has herself an actual character and a gimmick, even though the hat is ridiculous. But whatever. She has the gear to make. She has the nice gear to make you look like an actual
Star
person that belongs in WWE. Yeah, a star. And then, she's also a dropout. Or what do you call it? Dropout? No, a knockout. Like she's fine. That's the best way I can put it. So like that's somebody that should definitely be somebody that they look at.
Sounds like you just described Santana Garrett also, but we'll get to that in a moment. Next match was Kavita Devi and Dakota Kai. I didn't think it was a bad match. It just was like Kavita Devi dominated much of the match.
Yes.
She was trained by the great Khali from India. It's always good to see, the diversity and the WWE stepping up their international efforts and, stuff like that. But I wanted to see more from Dakota Kai, and for that, to me, the match suffered. Oh, man, I can't say that, Dion. Okay, it's not that bad. He's like, waste of Jinder's wife. I when I saw that video package, I was like horrified that she would be debuting on the main roster and she would be the women's champion and joining up with Jinder. Like, I was just horrified. Like when I saw the video package.
Look, after you see her lift Dakota Kai up in the air after having her in that arm lock, and then you see the tightrope move spot she did, the turn to arm drag. Yeah, I see her and I'm like, oh yeah. I give her, she's only been wrestling for a small amount of time. Let her like get in a performance center. She'll be around. Trust me, like that. She definitely was like somebody that actually has a bright future as far as her athleticism and her look. Definitely.
Dion says much better than Jinder. I'd prefer her as the WWE champion. She's definitely better looking. I'll say that.
Look. She is what do you say? She is more. She's more drawing to the eye. She pulls focus a lot better than Jinder does.
Yep. Michael says
more flash.
Says the minute they said she was trained by Great Khali, I thought they were going to let her win the tournament. Now, Michael. Supposedly, I heard that the YouTube video on this has already surpassed like 1 million views. So take that for whatever you want, but I don't think any of the other videos are that popular. So I'd have to do some research. If you guys want to check that out, cool. There's also a reminder, if you would like to call into the show, you just have to add One Nation Radio on Skype and just call us up. I gave that match 1 3/4.
Really?
Yeah, Dakota Kai just didn't do much. So it was just like, oh, you hit 2 moves in one.
Well, the whole thing is she's completely outgunned, and she's tiny, and she's fighting a gigantic woman.
True.
And not even, and I mean like a gigantic like Greek goddess of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought what I will say is I thought she did well as far as her selling, and I thought that her boot in the corner is great. I thought her boot in the corner is great. Her finisher. So, I will say, actually, it's not her finish. That's one of her signature moves. Her double stomp, her coup de grace, that's the drizzling shits. It just is. I'm sorry. It's not good.
I feel like she could break an ankle.
It looks like she's scared to fall. But I mean, I understand why she doesn't take the bump like Balor. She's probably so tiny that she can't do that because there ain't no padding back there. Mm-hmm. You imagine Sasha Banks trying to take a bump like that? No, she messed around and break her coccyx.
The next match, the next match on there was Bianca Belair and Sage Beckett, two of our kind of favorites that were going at it. They said Bianca Belair is like the we'll get to that in a second, Dion.
I didn't like them calling her the genetic beast, but other than that, I thought they presented her pretty well.
The best athlete in the Performance Center against Sage Beckett, who is a monster in her own right, and we've also seen her familiar with her from Shine. What did you think about this match?
Yeah. I thought there could have been a bit more to it, but I think they could have gave Bianca a little bit more offense because it was pretty much Superman versus a big bad that's just physically in stature bigger than her. And how will she overcome it? I thought the match was well wrestled. I thought that for somebody that's only been wrestling for what has Bianca Belair even been there for even 6 months?
She's had to been there for about a year now, but they've kept her, in the program. So, but okay. She hasn't been out. She just needs more reps.
Okay. So what I will say is I thought that she was incredibly fluid in this match. I thought that she knew where to be. I thought that there was no moments of awkwardness. I thought that she pretty much she was smooth and knew how to get her shit over or knew everything she needed to do. And I thought that for somebody that's only wrestled for a year and also given that how many matches do you think she possibly could have had being that she's I think I've only heard of her wrestling here and there. She's not a regular on the road, is she?
I think she's done a couple of NXT house shows, but she's not on TV. So I gave that one 2 1/4.
I think that she could be. I think that she could be like Charlotte. She's not obviously doesn't have the height, but being that freaky athletically. Obviously, she's a better athlete than Charlotte, but you get my point.
Yeah.
She could be something.
She could be something. Question from Dion. He was like, could you guys see a Nexus type move from these women on the current division? I'll say no, and I'll tell you why. I feel like the big story for this tournament is already the foundation's already laid with with the MMA 4 horsewomen and the regular 4 horsewomen, and they I think that will be the thing that they'll get. Personally, I think they should send a couple of them to the main roster, send a couple of them to NXT, and then help both divisions at once.
You want to do that? You want to do this now, or you want to get into that later? The horsewoman versus horsewoman match.
We can do it now.
Okay, this is a stupid fucking idea.
Do tell.
Okay. So Shayna Baszler is going to win Shayna Baszler could possibly win the.
Looks like James froze up. It looks
his draw of a woman's.
Run that back one more time, James, because you have froze up.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to put in a person that can potentially win this women's tournament, right? That everybody's put over and showed up and done appearances in Nakamura, virtually every single woman on the roster has been ringside for it or whatever. And then you also, so you know that means Shayna Baszler would be a big deal, right? Then you throw in the fact that Rousey is the biggest female box office draw there's ever been on pay-per-view, and then like you also have two other friends that are legitimate shoot fighters, right? And then you throw in on the other end like the four horsewomen in WWE, which pretty much have been geeks for the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. All of them. Becky, not doing shit. Charlotte, not doing shit. Sasha can't hold on to a title like people say that like I'm not even gonna say that joke, but just can't hold on to a title to save her life. Bayley, super geek. Why would I want to see that? Why would I think that WWE stands a chance? And also, you know how WWE gets down when it comes to outsiders that are actually big time draws. They always go over. So it's like, one, I don't believe. You have to like book this around the fact that like, can you get us to believe in the WWE side? Which is like, no. It should no. So why do it?
The only thing I could see coming from it, like they are willing to sacrifice everything that they built with these four, because obviously they've been doing it without. If you remove all the MMA women from the equation, they've already ruined these four. So it's like
that's my point.
And I don't think I don't think it would be such a thing. Like they're trying to reel in Rousey so bad. I feel like they'll sacrifice all four of them. Like they'll have her fight Survivor Series and match 1-on-4 and destroy them all. Like they don't care.
See, so another part is like two of them are on Raw, two of them on SmackDown. I understand it's Survivor Series, but like if you have the Horsewoman versus Horsewoman Survivor Series match, then what does that do for? So what does that mean for like the SmackDown and Raw women that aren't the Horsewoman, seeing that like they're going to be the champions, right?
Right.
Both sets of women champions not doing shit on the card because like you got to get over these two are this set of losers that can't even win the women's division that are about to take on Ronda Rousey. Are you crazy? Are you kidding me?
It sounds kind of backwards, doesn't it? Like shouldn't they have been dominating like everything?
If that's what their plan is, if their plan is to actually do this Survivor Series match, then they should be the champions. They shouldn't have Sasha getting her ass whooped. Clean by a chicken shit heel on television.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, with clean, I just whatever. I'm just over it.
Look,
like
at this rate, you can put Shayna Baszler over all of them. I won't care at this point.
I just don't understand it. I just don't. And right, if you do it, like, what happens with Shayna Baszler? Like, does that mean like will she be on the main roster, or do you put her to NXT? Because I think that she'd be better served being the person that carries NXT. Like, it helps carry the road shows in NXT.
Right. Like, you could run Asuka and Kairi Sane, like, let them anchor NXT.
Or what you do is, like, Asuka's going up. You have Kairi and Shayna be the two women that the whole entire women's division in NXT revolves around for the next year.
Yeah. Dion says, who would you say is the leader of the women's division? Like, the main roster? Just specify which one, Dion. So let's get to we'll come back to that, Dion. Let's get to the next match. We had Piper Niven and Santana Garrett. And to all those assheads in the WWE comment section, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all just couldn't wait to show y'all ugly horns on, in your level of maturity and anything else you want to say for how, bad they treated this woman in the comment section. Then she goes out there and has a raw ass match in the first round. So pretty much all y'all got to eat that shit. So it's a message for y'all. She took on Santana Garrett, who is obviously one. Oh man, Michael. All right. If you think it's bad how people treat Nia Jax, Michael, it was worse. So the joint with Santana Garrett and Niven, I gave that 3 1/4. All the moves, all the big suplexes, all the flips, everything. Like this match had everything.
The thing is, like, she's a big girl, but the big girl, like the fact that she's big, it actually played into the match over and over and over, and it made her, and she used it in a logical, sensical way in the psychology of the match. Like I mean, in the way that, like, because AJ and Sasha were just small little rubber bands that you could throw around the place or whatever, and were bendy and flexible. So that's why they take these ridiculous bumps and they look brutal. Like her splashes look devastating. Mm-hmm. Like the crowd, like if you go back and watch that match, everything that she did involving her actual physique, as far as like making impact, everything was over. And that's the thing, and that's sort of the reason why, like, you know, we're sort of in a renaissance of the big men right now, of the big sweaty guys in WWE right now, the monsters. Like, that's why Braun is over to an extent. That's why Big Show lost the weight and is putting on some quality matches on TV so far this year.
Right.
That's why Reigns is like always looks like he's in perilous danger, because like they're fighting these big gigantic motherfuckers and they're in danger. Like Santana Garrett was in danger in that match.
Yeah.
Like, and if you think about the Nia Jax Sasha match, which I thought was, you know, their best, you know, they've had a bunch of matches. I thought it was their best match from, I think, the week before SummerSlam.
Uh-huh.
It's because, like, they got over the fact that they're in danger because, like, the size disparity is huge, and if Nia lands on her or whatever, it's going to be over.
Right. And
I thought they did the same thing, and I thought it was really, really good. Yeah. I thought the wrong person won, but, I mean, the girl got over so well that it's like, maybe they switched the finish. Who knows?
Right. And Santana Garrett is who she is at this point. Like, they know she should have been in WWE years ago. And she's super raw all over the planet. I've famously dubbed her the woman Ultimo Dragon. All the belts that she's held around the world and currently holds. Was surprised to see WWE go ahead and put Piper Niven over here, but I think it might be playing into a larger overall picture of the overall story that might be trying to tell. Like, it's like, hey, we're not just looking for, you know, a specific type of woman, and if that's what they're doing, I think that's pretty admirable of them. You know, it'd be nice to see if that would translate, you know, up the rest of the card, but you got to begin somewhere.
And this is the thing, right? Most people, in general, if you are informed by the history of their decision making, WWE, as far as their hiring practices for the women over the last, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years, since they brought the women back into actually being wrestlers, you see Santana Garrett and you automatically go, oh yeah, they're going to hire her on the spot, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, they subverted what everybody, even on a subconscious level, knew, like, oh yeah, that's something destined to happen, where she's just going to beat this large woman, and that's the end of it. And they, you know, I thought it was an upset, and I thought it was smart, because it ain't really an upset. It's like, that woman is talented in her own right. She bumps her ass off. She is very athletic. Like, why not give her a shot? Let's see what happens.
Right.
Any idea who she's up against in the next round?
I'm not sure. If you guys can figure that out for me, let me know. I want to say it might be... we'll figure it out. So, the fourth episode, it was Candice LeRae against Renee Michelle. Excuse me.
Renee Michelle, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to hand it over to you to talk about Mrs. Wrestling.
Yeah, you know... They do the 1 or 2 minute spots to basically get over the character or the story of each wrestler before their match. You know, like a lot of people, they didn't do bracketology; they just straight up ran it. So they had to do some groundwork for them. I thought Candice LeRae, I thought that she came off as super likable, very energetic, really happy to be there. Really excited about it. I thought she came off her likability was off the charts. And then she says, oh yeah, by the way, I'm married to Johnny Gargano. And I'm like, oh, okay. It makes perfect sense why you're so likable. Okay. It's Candice Wrestling out here. And then she comes out, and one thing that I think is, as far as presentation, one thing I feel like is been a step back as far as presentation is almost all the music sucks. But like it might be worse than the Cruiserweight Classic as far as how bad the music is. But whatever. As far as inches. But she comes out, she starts the match, and the crowd is immediately Candice Wrestling, and I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. So yeah, I think she did well in the first match. I want to see what she does later on. Like I thought she was competent in the ring. I thought she sold. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I ended up giving that match a 2.5. Just kind of standard. The next match, it was Tayanara Conti versus Lacey Evans. USA versus Brazil here.
Yep.
This one, Conti was very impressive. Like, I've seen her on a house show, and she just does cool shit because of her jiu-jitsu background and all that. She looks like somebody you don't want to mess with. And then Lacey Evans,
I have to ask you because I know how you are. Were you disappointed that she took off the gi to reveal that she's wearing a sexier gi underneath?
I like the gi. I stick to the gimmick.
I thought she should have stayed in the gi. She came out and she was stone faced. She just walked down to the ring. I'm like, okay. And then she took it off. I'm like, oh, okay. You're wearing something sexy underneath, but it's also a gi. I'm like, okay, whatever. Do your thing.
Yeah. It was cool. And then Lacey Evans is continuing her life journey to be Debbie from Glow, Liberty Bell. So I feel like that's gonna follow her the rest of her career. But it might not be such a bad thing. Vince loves his America, and Americans love their America. So
yeah, I think she's doing too much with her hair. But other than that, I think she needs new shoes. I think she needs new boots, and I think she's doing too much with her hair. But athletically is there. She already has a moveset. Like that slingshot super kick thing that she does is really cool. I like the spot where she's basically on prone on her back, and she flips herself back over and gives the ground opponent the elbow. Mm-hmm. I thought that was awesome. And I thought that her finish. I don't know if that's actually her finish for real. If she just caught her in that position. But I thought that was cool too. It's like an inverted. I would say inverted. It was like a reverse type of I can't even. It's like a drop. I can't even explain what it was, but it was cool looking.
So I'm gonna go through a couple of these comments. Dion says, "I think Hunter is doing the Mae Young tournament. I'm afraid Vince will destroy the storytelling." Dylan James says, "Vince and his goons gotta go if Piper is gonna have a shot on the main roster. She'll be hella over in NXT though." Another one. She reminds me of a young Brian Kendrick, where he was talking about Candace. And then Simon says, "The man with the plan." And Lacey has done nothing in NXT. From Dion, yes, I don't think she's gotten on TV. And then he also asked, Lacey Evans' hair or Sasha Banks' hair?
As far as doing too much, or as far as which is more wonderful?
Let us know, Dion.
Which one is too extra, and which one's too, or which one is glorious?
Personally, I like Sasha's, even though it's a ridiculous color.
The thing with Lacey is that her extension game is so off the charts. It's not we are at peak.
He said too extra.
Was it Nikki that had too extra?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lacey's too extra. Lacey came out there and she had the rolls, the two rolls, and then and then she also had a hairpiece that came out the first headlock there was. And I was like, okay.
So she was fully committed.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do, every single time you come for the ring, fine. But maybe try to make it shorter so that it's not as distracting during the match. Maybe. Man, it's far beyond Bayley's ponytail or when Nikki had the 4 foot extensions at one time.
Well, pretty soon somebody gonna be wrestling with the Nicki Minaj down to the knee joints.
Well, we sort of do already with Bianca Belair.
That's a braid though, and it's a weapon.
It's a weapon. Yeah, how is she not DQ'd for that?
I don't know, bro.
It's not a foreign object, but it is a foreign object.
Yeah. The next match on there is what's her name? Reina Gonzalez and Nicole Savoy. I gave them a 2, and as you were mentioning, James, I think it was off the air. That one, it seems like the crowd was confused.
Yeah, they didn't know who to cheer for or who to boo. Because Boy comes out looking like a striker and a brawler, and then the 6 foot woman that dressed in chaps, dressed so nondescriptly, and blandly, and then wrestled in the chaps, but had shorts underneath the chaps on, and then had the eye patch like Slick Rick, except there was a hole in it, which means like why, right? Why? And, they they had a back and forth that was kind of plotting.
It was like a big man match they had.
Like a what match?
They had like a big man match.
Sorta, yeah. It was just slow.
Yeah, I ended up.
I wonder what Savoy can do with somebody that's less green. I wonder.
All right, Dan. We'll holler at you, man. He says she's doing for WWE what Chun-Li did for Street Fighter. As far as Lacey Evans.
Okay.
So let's get to the last match on the last episode. I thought it was the best match of the first round. I ended up giving that one 3.5. It's Kairi Sane versus Tessa Blanchard. And I believe this happened because WWE wanted to make sure that the last thing that you saw in this set was something good, and then also Tessa Blanchard may be booked somewhere because she's one of those Rolling Stone type wrestlers. She's wrestling all the time and everywhere. Maybe it was a situation where she was booked. And also, she's wrestled Kairi Sane before, and in order to get her over immediately, they wanted her to have an opponent she was familiar with. What did you make of this match, James? Looks like he froze. Alrighty, so I'll tell you what I thought of the match first until James unfreezes. So these two ladies, as I said, they had the chemistry from the beginning, and they were hitting each other with a lot of different moves, and they bounced off of each other well. And you thought, they're clearly the class of the first round. I felt like, as I said, I gave it a 3.5. Is James unfreezing? I can't tell. Anyway, Kairi picked up the victory. Sick elbow that she did. She gets her whole body on top of the elbow, and it just it's something absolutely ridiculous that you have to see to believe. Make sure if you have not seen this match, do so. It's a little bit of the Kota Ibushi thing. As far as you get to see this person that works a style completely different than everyone else and be absolutely incredible in doing it. And I feel like she definitely lived up to the hype in the first round. We're trying to get James back on the line now if you guys hear that little beep in the background. But I'm going to just turn that down so it doesn't interfere. But it was crazy that they made these two wrestle each other because obviously Blanchard looks like she has a lot of potential elsewhere to do her thing. And also, let me see. So looking at the first round, my top rated matches were Kairi Sane and Tessa Blanchard at 3.5, Niven and Santana with that 3 1/4, and then Lath and Jazzy with that 3 1/4, and also Kaylee Ray and Francesca Suge with 3 stars on there. So it was a cool first round. I definitely feel like the second round is going to produce something that we're all going to be raving about and feeling like there is another way to enjoy this on here. Trying to get James back on the line. He might have lost his connection, but we're going to move on here. So let's go through some of these comments that you guys left about the Mae Young Classic. James is back. What's up?
What I missed?
All right, I was just talking about Kairi Sane and Tessa Blanchard. What are your thoughts on that match?
I don't know if that was necessarily the best match. I feel like there were 3 or 4 the best match, but whatever. The Garrett match was up there. I thought the Mae Young match was probably maybe a step below that, and then the main event of the first episode with Kimberly and Gabbert. I think those are 4 best matches I've seen so far, but I think they're relatively close. But yeah, I thought Kairi Sane was everything I thought that she was. She sold Tessa's big moves like $1 million. I love her offense. The elbow is the most incredible thing I may have ever seen in wrestling. Right?
she's a really good babyface. Please cheer for me.
Yeah, like she came out there smiling. Like, this is the thing that why it bothers me when people like or WWE when like they pick these guys or they pick whoever they want to be the top guy or whatever, and then it doesn't work the way as well as they thought it would work out, and then they go on to say, well, so that the next slew of guys that could come up or whatever they beat the hell out of them or they make them weirdos or gives them like these weird quirks, and the whole thing is like, well, you can't just get over just a traditional babyface anymore. Like, well, no bullshit. Like I see this all the time. Like I see it all the time on some of your television on the lower cards. Like you can make it work to a larger audience. You just have to try. You actually have to protect these guys, right? Like what has Shinsuke Nakamura done to make him some edgy type of guy? Dance around like a crackhead? Like he's a white babyface, especially because he can't talk. He can't speak English and would cut promos. Like he's over. But anyway, back to the lecture at hand. Like, I thought she was very likable. She's easy to watch. I thought Blanchard. She did a very, very good job. I loved her offense. I loved the beginning of the match when they did the move where Kyrie's basically like caught in the corner on the second rope, and then it's I think it was like a code breaker type thing. I thought that was awesome. Mm-hmm. And I wish that both of them had been in different matchups so they could have advanced. But we'll see what they do from this point forward. Yeah, but Tessa's like that's my thing. This is my second time ever seeing Tessa Blanchard, and both times I came away thinking like, yeah, she's good, really good.
Yeah, and Bianca Belair will be wrestling Kairi Sane next round, so that's going to be a showcase. So and it looks like if this plays out how I think, like Kairi Sane will have great opponents every time, so there will be no excuse if it comes up short. So I want to get to some of the other stuff that we had planned to talk about today. It was announced Braun Strowman will be taking on the Big Show inside of a Steel's cage, brother. Why? Haven't we done this?
No, we haven't done this.
Like the whole Braun Strowman and Big Show, like they had a last man standing match, didn't they?
Yeah. They had
they broke the ring.
Had a regular rules match when they broke the ring. Yes.
Man, so like this just feels kind of random because if you're putting Big Show in there, like Strowman's kind of the heel now, right?
No, Strowman ain't the heel. Ain't nobody really cheering for Big Show in 2017, man.
I don't know.
Like, remember, this is a dude that 2 years ago that got "Please Retire" chants in droves.
Correct. Like, but I would have went with putting Strowman in there with sacrifice Bray Wyatt's ass or something like throw him out there to get killed by Braun Strowman.
But the thing is this, right? If you throw Bray Wyatt out there, you're gonna mess around and get Braun under. You don't want to do that. That's bad booking. You're trying to elevate a guy and get him hotter, so you don't want him in there with somebody that has a track record of getting nobody over ever in life. So, what I would say is, as far as the Braun Strowman thing, like, bro, so how are they gonna break the cage?
I feel
that's the only reason why they're out there is to break the cage.
Yep, they're either gonna do something where someone gets thrown into it. You could do that. Like maybe like he gives Big Show like a big boot and Big Show falls backwards somehow. Let's see. Simon says Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt would be a good TV feud. Squash his ass and boot him out the door.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm with you, Simon.
But it's sort of funny because I think I said to you, or maybe I said it on the podcast. I don't remember, but I said that they should basically protect Braun by having him wrestle one match on TV per month.
Yep.
And then wrestle a pay-per-view match. And every pay-per-view match should be Braun's rules, which means anything but a regular rules match. Every match he should be in a pay-per-view should be a stipulation match. And pretty much, I mean, this is about to be the only match you see Braun Strowman in until the pay-per-view.
Simon says running power slam through the cage. That might be it.
Ooh, yeah.
That might be it.
Yeah. You're probably right. Yeah,
you're probably right, Simon. So when it happens tomorrow night, I'll make sure we say Simon called it first yesterday. Big hoss motherfuckers. having big matches on TV. It seems like that's, if we're not going to be able to get, Seth Rollins wrestling AJ Styles or something, this is like the next best thing, isn't it? Like, rather than seeing somebody good and someone bad wrestle, it's like see two big motherfuckers like just beat the hell out of each other. I'm down with that.
Yeah. So, do you think that's going to be do you think it's going to main event, or do you think it's going to be the 10 o'clock hour?
I think they're going to put that on. I think they're going to put that on in the main event because whatever Cena and Roman will do will probably get the 10 o'clock hour.
10? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
So
because they figured out a way how to game that third hour to keep the ratings from dropping off, right?
What's that?
They recently figured out that if you put whatever you think may be the biggest thing
at 10.
At 10 o'clock,
they've been doing
that.
The
biggest. No, but they sort of. I mean, they typically only do that during football season. So they'd be like, we put them. It's halftime. You can click over and normally it's right at halftime, and then you can go on with your day. But like recently, they started putting matches like there will be things that will be the main event on at 10, and then put something that will also could be utilized as the main event or something important in the main event as well. And then like the third hour didn't fall off a cliff like it normally does. So like they we'll see what they do at 10 o'clock. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Then also Shinsuke Nakamura will be facing Randy Orton on Tuesday in a Who's Gonna Mail It In First match.
Wow.
Who knows, what this whole thing is. The winner is going to be taking on Jinder Mahal. Obviously, Randy Orton has a long pay-per-view history of trash with Jinder Mahal on pay-per-view, so hopefully we don't have to watch another one of those matches. But Nakamura, if he just goes over Orton here, I feel like WWE might not want to do that immediately, so we could be looking at a situation where it's a disqualification, and then it's a triple threat match with both of those guys in the Hell in a Cell with Jinder Mahal.
They're not doing that. There's no way. They cannot put Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal together in any ever again, unless it's a tag match. They just can't.
Why not? I know it's terrible.
Because it's been done to death, and it's been bad every single time.
Bro, I have a feeling they're going to do this.
Like, there's no what claim does Orton have?
These are the two guys you've been fighting all summer, and you got to fight them now, both at the same time in the cage. Fuck it, Jinder. And how are you going to escape? And then the same brothers will break in the cage anyway. And then Kavita Devi will break in the cage anyway. And then the Great Khali will parachute down from the building. And then Tiger Ali Singh will rise up out the grave. And I don't know if he's dead or not, but he'll come through and spit fire at somebody. And then Tiger Jeet Singh will come out and backshot somebody so Jinder Mahal can go over.
Look, man, we've had enough fuck finishes with this whole thing. I don't know what else they could possibly pull out for Jinder.
How will they outdo themselves this month? On the reverse scale, how bad will it be?
Bro, do they pull out Vishnu? Do they pull out the god? Do they pull out the god Vishnu that comes to make the save for Jinder? Is he even Buddhist? Whatever.
Who knows?
Anyway,
who knows?
But I just don't know, man. What I would say is that at this point, they pretty much have said to you the Nakamura thing is still a thing. It seems like they're just trying to kill time because they have 6 or now 5 weeks to go before they get to their pay-per-view. And that's fine. I mean, you see what they've done with the women's SmackDown division where they have Natty is going to take on Carmella this coming Tuesday, and then next week she fights in the rematch for her title against Naomi. So It seems to me like they have their TV planned out or whatever. I think it's just a stalling tactic. And plus, they still have Rusev around, and you eventually have to get our Rusev versus Orton match. That's a real proper match, not that bullshit. That was just a time kill.
No, man, it was a story.
Right, real story.
Go ahead.
They cut each other off during promos, and then they both hit each other's finishes along the they both attack each other when they're not sucker attacks. That was the whole thing. That was it.
Yeah. So John Cena and Roman Reigns now. This has been a hot topic online, and it's only getting bigger in a sense. But what's next for these guys? Like, I can tell you right now, I don't want to see these guys tag teaming anymore. Like, they're beyond that point now of reluctant, friends. It's like, nah, I said all this about you, and you said all this about me. Nah, man, something's got to happen. Like, we got to have a pull apart. We got to have like some flexing going on, something.
My issue wasn't that they tagged on after the promo in the main event. My problem was that they did the teammate versus teammate superpower thing, where like I have a geek on my shoulders, you're about the spirit geek, and we're going to hit our moves in succession together like we're friends. What should have happened was one of them, like, they could have even done that, but like immediately after that, like, Reigns needs to spear Cena immediately after to get him heat after what happened to him. Like, you talked all that cash, like, all right, I'll wrestle this match with you or whatever. Because another part about that matchup was that I thought, or that made sense, was Cena's in there getting his ass whooped, and Roman's on the apron mocking him,
doing the most.
Right, and then Roman gets into the ring, and then he basically takes over the match and wins the match for them, more or less. Like, right after that happened, he should have speared Cena, or he should have pulled that that Randy Orton against Seth Rollins, where like he just steps off, like it's time for him to tag in after getting desperately beat on. Roll. Nah, ain't no tag. Fuck you. It should have been one of those. They could have done so much.
Simon says they're trying to mix Cena versus Batista with Cena Rock, and those two things don't mix. You'd have to elaborate on that. I know Cena and Batista on their lead up to their SummerSlam match were the tag team champions at one point, so I don't really need to hear that to see that. They don't need to beat Rollins and Ambrose or anything. Yeah. We don't need a repeat of 1998 SummerSlam going in there where they were Austin and Undertaker are the champions or whatever. Yeah. We don't need a repeat of that. So like that kind of leads us into something I saw you put in. Okay.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Putting into Shoot Saturday about why are we getting all these big matches thrown on TV right now, and I just want you to elaborate on that.
Oh, okay. Well, SummerSlam is the second or third biggest show of the year for the company, and you see where we are now, where we have Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar when the Great Balls of Fire on the Raw pay-per-view. Braun Strowman won his ambulance match, and Brock Lesnar, after getting attacked before the match even started, beat Samoa Joe. So to me, or actually, and this is a great point that was made during by Braun Strowman. One of the only points he made, which was actually ultimately compelling because it's the only thing that made sense when those four guys all got in the ring and laid their claims for wanting to wrestle each other, was that Braun Strowman came out after Joe basically eviscerated Roman and said, both of you two lost last pay-per-view. Why are you giving title shots?
Yes.
Right? So you look at that and it's like, okay, they could have done, and 2 weeks, like a week or two later, they end up doing Joe versus Roman on TV. Like, that could have been a feud. They could have done Joe versus Roman at SummerSlam. They could have done Braun versus Brock at SummerSlam as well as main event, because he was already over. Like, is Braun any more over than he was a month ago?
If anything, he was less, but not really.
I wouldn't say less.
He's at the same level.
I would say the same. So it's like, all right, you didn't get him any more over. I mean, maybe you got him over in the match in SummerSlam, but like, we're still talking about SummerSlam, right? So you go from there, and then you look at what they did when Cena comes back as a free agent. He could be on Raw or SmackDown, doesn't matter. And he's on SmackDown, and he's put into a one-off with Rusev. He beats Rusev. Then, like 2 weeks later, after he beats Rusev, he gets his ass kicked by Nakamura, and then he's thrown into like just a hastily thrown together feud with Baron Corbin, where he just kills him. He just one-sidedly destroys him. Yeah. And then the next night he shows up on Raw and challenges Roman. And Roman was in a match where he lost at Great Balls of Fire. He lost clean. there was a general resolution to that feud with the whole murder attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Then, he has to eat the pin at SummerSlam. So it's like, okay, why didn't you guys just do this at SummerSlam? Why didn't you just do Cena versus Reigns at SummerSlam? If it's such a big deal, why are you putting two matches that could main event any Big Four pay-per-view and put both of them on a September Raw pay-per-view? I don't get it. I just don't. Like, I mean, and then, you start thinking about it, it's like, oh yeah, we're 18 months out from the end of their contract, their TV deal running out. They're trying to goose these ratings for the last 18 months to give them more leverage in their TV deal. Like, okay, that makes sense. I get it. But, like,
So they're trying to cook the books like The Wire.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily cooking the books. It's like 18 months. That's a whole lot of cooking for 18 months.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing for me is you can still do that. Like, they've been putting on better TV ever since they pretty much more or less elevated Samoa Joe to the main event. Like, ever since then, they'd have put on both shows better TV than what they were doing previous. Like, when they were in May, and it was awful, according to everybody that I heard. And then I hear the story, and I was like, yeah, that sounds awful. So I just don't really get why they feel the need that they need to have a pay-per-view be this blow-away type of thing. I mean, obviously, the next big thing coming up is Survivor Series, and that's just, throwing a whole bunch of bodies in matches. But you would think, like, that you would set these things up to have, the one-off type thing, and then you can come back to it at a later point. Or you can set this stuff up to where you have the big thing at SummerSlam, and then, like, knowing that Hell in a Cell is, like, 3 months out, like, that sets up, the blow-off of a feud at Hell in a Cell. They decided not to do anything. Like, we're going to end up with, like, what do you think we're going to end up with for the SmackDown side? Like, Jinder versus Nakamura?
I think it's going to be Triple Threat.
Okay.
Because I don't know where you put Orton otherwise. I mean, you could say Rusev, like, and be like, hey, Rusev cost Orton the match this week.
Well, they did tease on or not tease, but they did display on TV that they weren't just like, they weren't just dismissing Rusev. Rusev said he was coming after the title. Maybe it's a throwaway at Hell in a Cell.
You know what else was said on TV? Nakamura said he was going to answer the U.S. Open Challenge. Like, and that shit ain't happened either.
Well,
coming from Ranch.
My thing is this: if you're going to challenge for the U.S. Open, if you're going to challenge for the U.S. title, and then you get thrown into the bigger belt, which one do? You can't. You gonna do both?
Hey,
you gonna have him out here like Goldberg?
Win them both. Like Rollins.
Okay.
Rand says Braun's way more over now. He manhandled Brock on back-to-back nights. I'd actually agree with that. Like, he and write this down, Rance, because we don't agree often. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? If he beats Brock the same way in a one-on-one match for the title at SummerSlam, wouldn't that make him more over than him losing? Not taking the pin, but losing his first title match.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made on that, and they're just doing a thing where they kick the can down the road, but they have to be careful because it looks like they're doing the match everyone like wants to see now, but it just makes me question what's coming later. And
my thing is this, right? You talk about we always sarcastically talk about WWE and their plans, right? All
plans,
right.
plans.
If the plan is in fact Roman versus Brock for the belt at WrestleMania 34, then would it be the worst thing in the world if Strowman were to win the title at SummerSlam or at No Mercy and then take it to Royal Rumble and then lose it? Would that be the worst thing in the world? Would it be the worst thing in the world to give Braun Strowman a 3-month title reign, knowing that he's going to get completely boxed out come WrestleMania season again?
Maybe he's not. The only thing I think you would run into would be a situation like AJ Styles last year at the Royal Rumble when he ended up boxed out, and then more famously CM Punk losing at the Royal Rumble to set up these matches, and it seems like, oh wow, this is what they're doing. I think there would be a large cloud of negativity that would arise from in one night the plans being made.
But Rich, there's gonna be a loud cloud of negativity around that match anyway. So at least throw us a ball and let us see the guy that you actually got over organically and like did all this work to get over for the last year and change, 15 months.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at that point it'd be 15 months or whatever. Like, at least let that dude like get over or whatever. Otherwise, we're looking at a Ryback situation. Like, that's exactly what happened to Ryback. Like. He was hot enough. You could have put the title on him, and you could have took it off of him by the time you got to the time when it's time for your plans for WrestleMania and moving to the side or whatever at that point in time. But you could have gave him something, not making him like a complete loser that can't win the big one.
Dylan says they're probably going to do Cena versus Strowman at WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to do that. I think this actually might be, and I hate to say it,
the rumor that's going around.
I guess we can talk about said guy now because it's not like the SummerSlam one.
Yeah.
If John Cena wrestled the Undertaker at WrestleMania this year, I'm just going to pull my hair out. just pull my hair out, like, bro, like how long we got to see old ass Undertaker rolling out here doing this, and then Cena in that promo, I ain't no veteran with the.
I'm not a broken down veteran with a bad hip.
Yeah, so maybe that line wasn't for no reason, you know. A couple comments from Rance. He's like, Ryback went straight from squash and jobbers to title matches, bro. It worked. Like that's all I can say.
It doesn't matter if it
how
works,
you get there.
Works.
And then he also said Braun has had legit feuds with legit guys. Correct, but at the same time, like they both are in the same spot right now. Like where you could have had like people would have went crazy had he whooped CM Punk's ass and took the title in the Hell in a Cell, and then
here's the thing, right? You had on that end, you had at that point. After WrestleMania, after Raw 1000, CM Punk did nothing but be a chicken shit heel for months and months and months. And it came to a point where you had a guy that was literally kicking Mick Foley, and then Ryback shows up to defend him, and you had CM Punk with that scared as shit face.
He was
and
made.
You knew, and you like, oh, okay, all right. And he was over. And you could have, and you think about how he had to chase, and the crowd was behind him the whole entire time him having to chase. Like, after that, he was over. People wanted him to win the title. It didn't happen. And then they knew it because after he gets screwed in the Hell in a Cell match, what does Ryback do? Ryback kills Maddox. He chases CM Punk up the cell, and then he gives him the shell shock on the cell, and the crowd loses their minds over it.
It says, Braun's rise feels organic and deserved. Ryback's felt rushed. I would say the only reason that you could say that was that he was literally an injury substitution. But
he was, absolutely.
There was no one better to be put in that spot. like if you can come up with somebody, I'd love to know. You know, it's like as far as like, you know.
And the thing for me is like, look, man, if you're over, you're over. And like to me at that point in time, like it didn't feel like hot shine to me. I understand what he's saying, like hot shine. Like we were just talking about that with Nakamura if he had won at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. But to me, this did not feel like the same thing with Ryback. Like Ryback was over and over throughout the whole entire time, and the crowd was dying for him to win. Especially once you got to like the first Raw 2013 in Tampa that me and you went to with The Rock, and when they had all that going on in that ladder match.
Yes,
people were dying for him to win the title, but plans.
Yep, plans. And Ryback now has a podcast like me and you. So it's quite interesting to see, like, you know, the way things can go, and with Strowman heading forward, I'd be very interested to see where they're going with him for WrestleMania. If they're putting him in the ring with Lesnar now, you know, who knows?
Jeez, who would be a good opponent for if they're still going with Roman and Brock in the main event? who would be a good opponent for WrestleMania for him, for Braun?
Oh man, let's see. Let me pull up this Raw roster before we get to this celebration that we about to have. For old JBL, I'm glad you guys are tuned back in because we are going to celebrate JBL and his ass getting up out of there. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna laugh, but you know they could have did Big Show and made it a Big Show retirement match.
Ooh, yeah. What if he retires Big Show? That would be something.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, you could do.
You've been replaced.
Yep, you've been replaced. Wow. You will not replace me. They can have him fight the Miz. You know, you could do that.
That's way too small for Braun Strowman.
Yeah,
that's way too small.
You could have him fight. Nope, those guys are gonna be tied up. He says Braun versus Brock 2, career versus the title. I mean, I feel like they'll do a rematch. Like, say Braun Strowman beats him for the title at No Mercy. I feel like the rematch is coming like way sooner than waiting till WrestleMania. I think.
Yeah, they do that. Like, what I'm thinking is have Braun win, and then set the match up for Royal Rumble.
Right. Let's see, Bray Wyatt. That'd be terrible.
Let's see.
I brought you in, and look what you've done. I don't know.
I'm thinking of how they could do that match without lowering Braun.
Yeah. Who knows? But as far as JBL, I just want to play a song, and you know. Hey.
They gonna take this shit down.
Hey. JBL is off our screens, everybody. You know, we gonna celebrate today. No more JBL. No more cowboy hat. No more bad commentary. No more ridiculous hot takes. Hey. Yeah. Alright, we gotta turn this bitch off before they yank this shit. But as y'all can see, go ahead.
Can you play Pharrell Happy as well, or no?
Let's see.
I think we might be doing too much.
Yeah, we might be doing too much. We might be able to get away with the instrumental. We might be able to get away with the instrumental. I would play R. Kelly Happy People, but I'm not going to do that for obvious reasons.
Can't. Oh, man.
Hey. So, celebrating on you boys. No more JBL. James, what are your thoughts on JBL getting up out of here?
Yeah, man, like, he had his moments at the beginning, but, you know, it's surely anything with WWE. Like, if you run them out there too long, they'll be overexposed, and guys aren't allowed to actually, like, come up with anything new. You have to hit your signature spots. You have to get your shit in. And, you know, aside from maybe, like, you know, call the sheriff, these boys just stole the show, I think that's probably, like, the greatest impact JBL's ever had on you know, the announcing business. That's a great line, but you know we can get that to somebody else and move right along from you.
I'm telling you, JBL when he first came back, when Jerry Lawler went down with the heart attack, I remember you were saying that we're stuck with JBL for life now. Apparently, all we had to do was wait 5 more years, and it has been a wait that we can celebrate now in unison as a wrestling community. We may disagree a lot, but JBL is not one of those things we disagree with most of the time.
My question to you is this: who do you think is going to be listening? Did they put Lawler back there because like Lawler like at the end was like actually gave a damn and he was back to having his fastball?
Oh my gosh! I would go with either Lawler or fuck it, Renee Young. Why not?
But
let's make it happen.
But the thing with Renee Young is if Renee Young is going to be there, she has to be the play-by-play. She can't be the color. She can't be heel commentary.
You're right.
because
look,
you're gonna lose credibility.
I have no
like,
problem.
what,
I have no problem moving Tom Phillips around for the South. Like.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
go.
Like if you put on play-by-play Renee Young, and then you put Saxton with Lawler, that's perfect. That's fine.
Yeah. Look at us giving them all these
That's
good
not what
ideas.
they're gonna do because Saxton.
Yeah. So I think we got away with the instrumental playing. So as y'all don't know, we are happy about no longer having to hear JBL every just the nauseating, just the absurd hyperbole. Coming
Jack
from him.
Askery. Look the on the mic bullying. Like think about that. Like when he was bullying Saxon for forever. Like talking about his question, alluding to his blackness. Like
Yes.
Like I'm done. Kick rocks. I'm done. Like
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Like when I feel bad for Byron Saxton, it's bad. Byron Saxton is one of the worst.
I kind of like Saxton personally.
Man, you like how he dresses sometimes. You don't like his commentary because you forget what his commentary even like. Like there are plenty of times where I forget that he's on the mic. He just sits there and just lets it breathe and he gets lost in Michael Cole's voice half the time. Or you don't remember. You can't differentiate between the two of those guys when they were together on Raw a year ago.
Yeah, man. We could play another song like the Game dropped that celebration song with Chris Brown, Tiger, Lil Wayne, and Wiz, but I think that one would get yanked. What other celebration songs should we come up with on here?
Well, I was gonna say because how good it sounds, I was gonna say Gloria Estefan, Walking on Sunshine, but that song's about love, so I can't really do that. Let's see.
I have one right here. I feel like we heard the news JBL was gone, and I felt glorious, and it will continue to be happy and glorious times until JBL hopefully never returns again. Yeah. So.
All right, I got one. Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling.
Oh shit. We definitely about to get banned. Look, we definitely about to get banned off this joint.
Yep. Like, if I remember correctly, the lyrics are what are the lyrics?
I can't stop the feeling. So just dance,
dance. Look. This is how I feel about JBL being gone. I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. All through the city, all through my home. We're flying up no ceiling. We in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that goose hole in my feet. That's exactly what it feels like that JBL is gone.
Yes,
exactly like it.
I got another one for you. I'm just gonna play a little bit of it, and hopefully they don't yank us down. It's a beautiful day. You too. I can do this all day. Just talk about JBL and how bad that he's been, and yeah. But what's worse, JBL or Taylor Swift's new song?
Are you asking that?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Dude, the Taylor Swift song's awful. Like I can't. There's no way around it. Like that right said Fred shit is just terrible. Like if you listen to that song, I was like, wow, this sounds like I'm too sexy for my everything. It's like I can't believe this is what one of the elite pop stars in the world is doing. This is like going to change the trajectory of her career. Like people are going to buy that album. People are going to buy that single, that album because they love her. But it looks like the downfall. Like if she fucks around and her album's not hot, like this could be like the beginning of the downfall for her. That shit is not Love Story. That shit is not.
We still on this JBL. Hey.
Yeah, the answer's Taylor Swift for me. But like, yeah, bro, like that shit is not mean. That shit is not Love Story. That shit is not mine.
Simon said y'all didn't get down to that sick beat. Me neither, bro. That beat was awful, Simon. Awful.
It's trash. That shit ain't shaking off. That shit ain't we're never getting back together. That shit ain't Red. That shit everything has changed. Like, bro, Taylor Swift got so much more John Blaze shit than that. So much more. Terrible, bro. So, like, that ain't Welcome to New York. That ain't Style. That ain't Wildest Dreams. Like, that single is awful.
Crazy, man. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Anybody? Anything else you want to add before we get up out of here, James?
This is a weird situation where I'm not gonna say any names or whatever, but you hit me up to somebody that we talked to about the Mae Young Classic or whatever, and you relayed to me like what their feelings were, and I was kind of like disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
He led me to leave the gist of the story was they believe that the historical track record for WWE for women having success in WWE is to either be gorgeous or to be a monster, and that from what they saw in the Mae Young tournament, they believe that like a lot of these girls just won't have it or whatever. And like the part that was disappointing me was like when we talk about like any type of disparity or whatever between the haves and have-nots or whatever, you have to look at like a lot of the root cause issues with things or whatever. Otherwise, you're just going to be talking about basically feelings and abstract shit that isn't actually based on fact. Like you look at the history of WWE with the women in it, for example, and there is no like real counterfactual for that point. Like his point was more or less like saying like no one's ever done it before, therefore it probably won't work, as opposed to saying like no one's ever really tried this shit, therefore it hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. That kind of was just like that was one that kind of threw me off. But like in general, like I think that where we are now, and the fact that there was actual a call for it makes me think that like we're on the right track. It's just if you're going to book them like they're actually stars, and we'll see what happens from there, because it worked out last year. It was a smashing success. This year, not so much. The only difference was the way you booked them, and you can say that about a lot of WWE last year compared to this year. Why it was better. So if you put out quality, people will want it. If you don't, they won't. It's that simple. And then you have to make a commitment to it. Like you were talking about Mayweather with all the body shots at the beginning of the match with McGregor. Yeah. Like it was a commitment to the body shot of taking the air out of you. It's just anything like you commit to the running game. It's not about the fact that your last two runs were both for 1 yard and then for a gain of -2. It was about making commitment to stay to the body, to wanting to see this through. And, if you're going to cut bait on stuff and be quick to get rid of it, then you're never going to find out if things going to work out in the end. Like, they could have cut bait with The Rock. They didn't. Look what happened. They could have cut bait with Austin when he wanted to switch gimmicks from the Ringmaster. Look what happened. Like, Mankind could have just been Mankind and never got over to Mick Foley. Triple H could have still been Hunter Hearst Helmsley. You know what I mean? Like, you have to give things a chance or whatever. Otherwise, you're just never going to ever, like, see anything come through if you're just going to turn stuff over and over, quick. Like, so, you look what they did with the women, the Women's Revolution. They gave that a 6-month run, and then at the end, they made it work out, and then all the last year was basically the success of that, and then this year they said, we're gonna try some new shit, and we see what's happening right now. We're about to get Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Why? Because one of them is really pretty, and the other one is a monster. And we'll see how much you like this compared to when it was Sasha Banks in there with that said monster or said pretty girl. Because I'm guaranteeing you those matches will not be as good.
Yeah.
Nor will the feud.
Man. A lot to take in right there, but we're going to leave it there. And that's going to wrap up the show. We will continue in the group for another couple minutes, but make sure you guys check out the SMC podcast, also on the feed. I'm working on getting the iTunes feed reactivated now. If you would like to continue following the shows, just check out our YouTube page where every show is being published there. It's One Nation Wrestling, and also socialsuplexwrestling.podbean.com or socialsuplex.com, where all the shows are embedded there as well. That's it. Peace.
Later.